Mic check, man. We are back. I got my guy to the left of me, man. My guy Q. It's been a minute. Back for another half hour. Black Power. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good. What's going on with you?
I can't reach you. There we go.
Yeah, man.
Got the book Powernomics on here. I see you. All right.
Yeah,
so
just
he ready to kick knowledge. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
What's been going on, man? With you, the world.
Not much, man. I'm sitting back watching this.
Circus.
Yeah. I'm watching this circus, and I got my opinions on it. So.
Yeah, I've been seeing on social media you kind of started voicing it. I did see something you posted, and it said something about, you said they say that you go in a cycle every election.
I do. It's like election season is like the NBA playoffs to me. It's excitement watching it, but then what's more exciting is watching to see what our reaction as a people are going to be and why we get behind some of the candidates we get behind, because it's starting to not make sense no more.
Yeah, that does make sense. So let's start here. When because when we say circus, that's, for the most part, we look at entertainment, of course. The entertainment side of it. When you think of an actual circus,
Right.
When you call something serious a circus, I think that speaks to just the level of unseriousness.
Yeah, man.
That is happening amongst what's always happening.
Just gonna go ahead and put it out there, man. That was a whole minstrel show what Kamala did the other week.
Well,
and I don't see why more people aren't really upset. That was a minstrel show.
What made you say minstrel? Why would you say that?
Come on. A minstrel show, by definition, a minstrel show is it was when white folks get in blackface and just shuck and jive and happy hands and, bro,
chicken dance.
I like Megan Thee Stallion, but they let her. You don't do that at a presidential rally,
right?
You don't do that at a presidential
I agree.
rally at all. If she could have showed up and just asked questions, she's an educated woman.
So I made a post. I made a little 3-minute video, and then I put on my story, and I said the same thing. I said, I like Megan Thee Stallion, very pretty young lady, seems to be smart young lady, can talk. She pushes a lot of things when it comes to mental health and some other agendas.
Right.
And I feel like just because someone's an artist and they rap doesn't mean that they have to come and actually rap at a rally or something that an event where you're trying to get voters to vote for you.
And this
I don't know if, like, I know me personally, I'm not now voting for Kamala Harris because she got Meg Thee Stallion to twerk on stage.
Right.
I can see that anywhere. Actually, all her videos, I can see that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm just saying this out. I'm not saying this is the case. Had, Meg Thee Stallion had some words, like a 2 or 3 minute speech or a little monologue, and it was moving, I would feel, I honestly would, because I'm open to the idea of Kamala, even though I'm not a big fan of her.
Right.
I'm open to the idea because we got 2 ideas right now. It's the Trump idea and it's the Kamala Harris idea. And I'm not crazy about either one of them, but I have to be open to both now because those are the choices we have.
This particular election cycle has been all over the place. You have Joe Biden, who they basically just said, "Hey, man, we either gonna 25th amend you, or we're gonna snatch you out of there. So
Right.
You got to step down." And somebody shot at Donald Trump. And you got Megan Thee Stallion twerking at a rally. This is a crazy year for the election. Not
Definitely.
to mention the things that's going on in the world. As a voting bloc, as a people, we need to really pay attention to everything that's going on, and we can't just vote just because. Because at this point, it's like lesser of two evils. And like I said, I'm gonna have a very as the show progresses, I'm probably gonna have a pretty unpopular opinion. I'm gonna just tell everybody that now.
Well, I do want to talk, because this from a voting standpoint, and we talked about it first. Let's start from there. So, from a voting standpoint, I mentioned to you, I said, when I first voted, when I turned 18, I was lucky enough my first voting was when Obama ran. So,
Right.
lucky me, right? But I said to say, I remember my mom telling me, like, when you go vote, your mom gonna tell you what she know. But I know she told me what she knew, and she got from somebody else, because there was no that real direction. It was like, oh, we vote Democrat.
Right.
And that's probably the worst advice I can give anybody, because oddly enough, even in your local set, like locally, you may be better off with that Republican figure. in your town, in your city, as it relates to you and what in your life and how you live
Isn't our
amongst you.
mayor Republican?
Yeah, and they're saying he's doing a great job. So
Right.
so that's that. So you don't want to go just vote Democrat, right? But that spoke and speaks to the level of awareness and education awareness we have around politics. Yeah, people smart. My mom might be smart, but political wise, it's deeper than just saying I'm voting Democrat, because then you go to the polls, right? And you see about 9 Democrat names. So now I'm voting Democrat, cool.
Right.
Which Democrat do I vote for? For all these different, for this law,
Yeah.
to pass this bill. What does this bill even mean?
Right.
Do I want it passed? So it's so many things educational wise that first when we start to go voting and we talk about voting in itself, that we have to educate ourselves on first.
Another thing that happens is a lot of time, as black people in America, especially black descendants of slaves, there are a lot of things that we have been asking for us. Reparations is one of the things, but let's just leave reparations off the table. There are some legislation and some laws and things that need to be passed that would stop us from being in some situations that we don't need to be in.
Okay.
And when we ask these politicians, hey, we have a request, they always seem to say, hey, well, all right, well, we'll talk about it, or we'll have a study on it, or we'll see what we can do about it. But right now, we just need you to vote for us. Get us in office and we'll make changes. And they get in office and they don't do shit. They've not done anything. And this has been since, my first memory of a president was Ronald Reagan. I knew he was a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? So, right off the rip, I knew that at an early age. I was like, this guy's not for us. So you had Ronald Reagan, and then you had Bush, and I was like, yeah, I know the Bush, and then came Clinton, and he played the saxophone. And I'm getting to a point when I'm saying this, because now they've figured out how to pander to black people just to get their vote.
Define the saxophone when you say that, like.
Pander. Let's talk about that. When they want black folks to vote for them because we are a very powerful vote, the first thing they do is try to find a way to connect to us. We're soulful people, so the saxophone was jazz. Hillary had the hot sauce in my bag swag. Obama was Obama. It is what it is. Everybody voted for Obama. He was brother. It just is what it is. But now you got Kamala Harris, and the fact of the matter is she a woman of color? Yes. She does not have black culture in her blood nowhere. It's just not there. They try to say, okay, she went to a HBCU. I know white guys that went to HBCUs. They're not black. She doesn't have a connection to black culture. She just does not. I'm not saying that that's the
end all be all for.
It's not the end all be all for whether you want to vote for it or not. It really don't matter.
But it does matter only when you're running off the pretense of, hey, I'm for y'all, I'm representing y'all.
Right.
Because then at this point now we have to kind of, and I hate to pick apart, but we have to pick apart whether you even part of us, know our culture, and do we want you to represent us? Like, if anything, represent yourself.
Right.
Just be Kamala Harris,
right,
and then run for president.
I could respect that more just by coming out and saying, look, I'm Hindu, I'm Indian, I was raised Indian, but I rock with black folk, and this is what I ain't gonna do. If she was to come out like that, it's fine. But wearing Chuck Taylors, talking about how you clean collard greens. She talking about, I make collard greens, I put them in a tub. It's like, man, y'all Jamaicans be doing kalaloo or whatever. Y'all don't really do collard greens like that.
Chill out.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying she trying so hard. And this is the other thing that got me about this Megan thing. The Megan thing really pissed me off. It really did. But now, the way that they pander to us, do you see them pander to any other ethnicity that way? That should be a telltale sign to black people that, hey, look, man, she putting on a show for you, a minstrel show. Because they don't show up to the Mexican rally with a mariachi band and tacos.
So I think when you were saying minstrel show, I took minstrel from it, and that's why I thought you was making a play on words. So you're not saying that.
No.
I want to make sure. I know we only like 5 minutes, 10 minutes in, but I wanted to make sure that. Okay, so that's when you said, I'm like, why you said that for? Now it makes sense.
Yeah. It's all fun and games when it comes to black folks and voting. In 2020, they had a whole campaign talk, take your booty to the polls. They literally had strippers doing campaign commercials funded by Democrats. Strippers. This is how you present to us. Y'all don't go to Jews or Asians or any other ethnicity with the foolishness, saying, "Give me your votes."
How much of it you think is on us? And I ask this question because we talk about accountability and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a people, like, and I'm of the culture. I'm black. You black. You know,
Right.
I don't know if we take anything seriously enough. And mind you, not just your demographic, not just my
Right.
demographic.
Mhm.
I'm talking about even younger than us now too,
Oh.
that are a part of the culture. I don't know if we take enough serious for the person that's trying to pull these strings or trying to play the saxophone or, you know, pander to us to say, you know what, let's get them something serious. I think it's kind of like, you know what, let's give them Meg Heather do that. Let's do this, let's do that, because really that's what's going to get. I mean, when you look at the culture sometimes, I look at a lot of the women and you got them, not dissing anybody, but you got the bottle girls, you got the people that's like, they're like F college, F the workforce, F
Right.
being a nurse. Or I'm going to be a nurse and I'm going to do this at night. It's like,
Right.
that's kind of the thing for a certain demographic as well. And I don't know if that demographic is just heavier than what our demographic actually is. I don't know if our demographic are voting more than that demographic is, but it is separate demographic amongst blacks. It's all layered.
Well, the thing is that we kind of we're out of touch with the political system because of the confusion that they put out there.
Well, I don't know if you ever been in touch with it. But.
Well, no, not really. I mean, well, we were. You go back to 1964 when we was fighting for the right to
once you
vote.
say the 60s, like, things
Right.
changed once we started to integrate.
Right.
So
exactly.
I don't want to even get to
Right,
that.
right.
You
Yeah.
know,
So
it's a whole different story.
now is when I say we out of touch, and there's a level of hopelessness. When I was making my post earlier, it was a lot of people saying, "Well, we never get what we want. So what are you talking about? Why are you being so divisive?" And I'm like, "Do you understand that?" And this is what I'm saying. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not a Trumper. I'm not one of these black Trump voters. I'm not Democrat or Republican. I'm independent at best. But when we look at Republicans, there's in a sense we already know we got common enemies. We know there's people over there that don't want black people to have nothing at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you look at Democrats, we have a wolf in sheep's clothing. So half of us are going to say, "Well, yeah, you need to be behind Kamala because she's a Democrat, or you just need to vote Democrat because you don't want to vote Republican." And then you got people like me who are going to be abstract, just be like, "You might want to take a look at this because it's kind of messed up." And they see me as divisive. And I'm like, "No, I'm just challenging you to think. What are we voting for? What is she doing?
Well,
She's not doing. She ain't even got no policy. What's her slogan?"
it's kind of going back. It's kind of going back to, and I don't want to get into the anti-Kamala thing. We're gonna break her down later or break that down later.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you talk the voting, you talk about what side you on and all that stuff. I think it goes back to when, and we use this saying a lot. We use this saying is, I think everybody that's black or in today's culture now knows the definition of insanity because we use that for everything. And it says it's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So just voting Democrat or just saying, hey, we never get our way anyway, so what's the problem?
Right.
Is insane.
It is very insane.
And it's not progressive. And honestly, I feel like as a culture, it depends on how you look at it, of course. As a culture, though, I do think when you add up all our demographics, whether it's a young, old, new, whatever, it is progressive. You have older people being open to new ideas of younger things that's happening now that maybe back 20 years ago it was like taboo.
Right.
Those things aren't as taboo no more.
Right.
So I do see the progression amongst the culture. And me seeing the progression amongst the culture also tells me that there can be progression even in the political sense of, hey, maybe we don't always vote just Democrat all the time.
Sometimes the progression can be kind of productive. I mean, which direction are we progressing in? Because it seems like the education level when it comes to politics is being dumbed down to a point where you can have a Megan decide and say, okay, you know what, she's twerking for Kamala? Yes, we're voting. And that's all it takes. No policy, no slogan, no what we're going to do for you. Hey, get her, get Beyonce, let's get the celebrities. They don't do that with any other ethnicity. They do it with us. Now, they have celebrities because they have but they have their races. Like Republicans, they had Hulk Hogan, his racist ass, speaking at the Republican convention. Well, that's their base. When they say,
but I don't know if it's us. And I'm just being objective here. I don't know if it's us doing it because I also don't see like a bunch of those people also saying, "Why would Hulk Hogan come and show his muscles at a convention?"
Right?
You don't see that. So, and I don't know how much of that side of Republican bringing out Hulk Hogan matters to that side as much as for us feeling away because we know we can get a better version of Meg than what we got.
You
You know what I'm saying?
I mean,
I'm not saying don't get Megan. I actually,
No, yeah.
I am. That was probably a match made in heaven for Kamala Harris because Megan is a prominent figure in the black community right now.
She's a superstar, but she's not. She's she would have gained a whole lot more respect from me if Megan Thee Stallion would have just came and just talked. Like I'm not even performing
Who
no
would
songs.
gain more respect?
No, Kamala, just a whole campaign.
Well, I just don't. Yeah,
But to put black women on blast, this is in front of the world. This is her first show. This is her first rally. This is her first rally as I'm Kamala Harris. I'm taking Joe Biden's place. And you bring back, this the world watching. So Russia's watching, Kim Jong-un is watching, China's watching, and you bring out Megan Thee Stallion? Nigga, is you for real? What are you doing? And I'm like, you just embarrassed the whole, if you didn't embarrass nobody else, you embarrassed the hell out of black women, but you embarrassed the hell out of black people. And if this is what you think that we like,
I don't think her bringing her out
was she gonna take her to Idaho? When she go out to Idaho, is she gonna take Megan up?
I hope not.
Right.
I hope they learn from that mistake, but I don't think her bringing her out is what was embarrassing. I think her performing was embarrassing because that had nothing to do with us voting in the campaign.
And then she didn't even make up a song, bro.
But
she just did a whole song.
So,
I'm like,
and I don't want to come at Meg. I don't want to come at Kamala. I don't know who pulling strings in this campaign. We upset the campaign because I don't know if it's on her personally or if it's on them. End day, most people are puppets anyway, so I ain't get into that. That's a whole other story. But when it comes to the Meg, she probably just did what she was asked and whatever she was paid to do.
I'm sure she did.
Which is cool. But I also feel like as an artist, and then Kamala asked somebody who, and this is why it gets down to like, and I hate to be that person, but it gets down to like, damn, why would I vote for you? Like that small decision is
impactful.
So I'm supposed to put the country in your hands, right? but a small decision like that, nobody on your campaign, nobody thought, you know what, hey, look, this is not going to be a good look. Because if you had told me before I watched it, if you had told me that we're going to do this and you're going to perform, I would have said, hey, hold on, no. Me being a person working retail, your everyday person, right? Or nobody. I said, hey, that's not a good idea.
And that lets you know further, she is not in touch with black people. Because that is a bad
It's
look.
not even a black people. It's probably more examples for that. But I think that's just in touch with just what's good or bad for the look. So it's the look of the black people right now because Meg Thee Stallion represents black women.
Right.
She's really black, for real.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
She represents black women.
No doubt.
And I just feel like they could have put her in a better light. The campaign could have been in a better light if they just say, you know what, we're going to give you a microphone, but you can use your voice differently.
But
she could have been dressed up and looked nice. I don't care how she had on. She could look sexy, all that stuff. But she had just spoke and said some meaningful words, like speak to some of the issues that black women have in America, and because she had her own situation, right?
Right.
And she was ridiculed for it. You know what I'm saying? She human. She did some things. She might lie, don't stand. It's just stuff she did. That would have been perfect segue for like, hey, look, nobody's perfect. You can run your campaign on that. Nobody's perfect.
Kamala ain't have nothing to do with Megan Thee Stallion. Those are her handlers that said, this is going to get black votes. We in Atlanta, this is what's going to work.
But that's the thing. So my
she should have
point
had
is,
enough culture in her to say, nah, this is probably not going to be good.
That's my point. If that's the case, if it wasn't Kamala's decision, and I'm sure it wasn't, it was just the handlers, when she becomes president, how many more decisions aren't going to be hers?
None of them are going to be hers.
So this is like a prominent example of like, this is small. So what are we going to do if we get bombed on? What if we're going to do if the world is a threat? What are we going to do if we have another COVID situation? What are we going to do if we have these big worldwide or just domestic-wide issues that we involve ourselves in worldwide, or we just have a domestic issue that it's a big deal? Like okay, prime example, right? Let's say you got kids, right? I got kids. You know, based off your kids, which task or what chore to give them based on what they could do. Right?
Yeah. Exactly.
So, based on that one section, why would I choose to give you the United States now? You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take trash every day.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna leave you here for 4 months. No, I'm not. Like, I'm not gonna. It's something I'm not gonna do.
No, that's exactly to do everything, and I know that you're not capable of it, and we know that she's not. I put it like this. It was a poll about a month and a half or so ago. She was the most unliked politician.
Well, I don't want to confuse that because if you feel that way, I want to make sure we.
That's not
that. I'm talking
yeah.
about the whole. She said she's not capable. I don't. I'm trying to be.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying. No,
I don't want to say she's not capable because I don't know.
It's not. Well, I'll put it like this. It's not because it's. I see what you're saying. I don't want to make it sound like it's because she's a woman or nothing like that. It ain't got nothing to do with her gender or nothing like that. I mean, looking at her past and some of the things that she did in California or some of the things that she did not do, she kind of has a benign neglect factor where she sees things and decides to ignore them. And you know what I'm saying?
So the only thing I want to say, I do want to say something positive about her. I want to make sure, it's 20 minutes in, I want to make sure.
Right.
I give her flack for her past as well, right?
Right.
Every politician gets flack for their past,
right.
which I do hate because to me today, you know me.
Right.
I just say you know me. Me today ain't me 6 years ago, 5 years ago. I was wild 5 years ago. I'm not even going.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not me. That's not me today. Yeah. So I don't want to. I would want my current person, whatever, like to be like, yo, if people I know me now, like, yo, you can't do that because.
Well, I'm not.
But I will say this.
Attack her personally.
No, not that. Just what I will say is this: as a defense attorney, just because I didn't like the statistics of her job, I cannot sit here and say she didn't do her job.
Right.
As a defense attorney, she did a damn good job.
Right.
I just hate the disparities in numbers that I saw when I look up her actual job. But I can't sit here and say she didn't do a good job. Which also brings me to the United States, the president of the United States of America. It's like, yeah, she may do a great job. I'm not going to say and say she won't. Will I like the numbers that I'm going to see? Will I like the statistics? Yeah, okay. Will I like, because she's representing us now, right?
Right. Well.
This is what she's saying. I'm going off what she's saying. Right, Chucks and Pearls tell me you represent us.
Chucks and Pearls. Oh, boy.
That's that campaign. I don't know what this campaign going to be. I think this campaign would. Somebody sent me something the other day, and it was something she said about we're not going backwards or something like that.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know
that
if that's
sounds
going to be a
good
slogan.
to the black community.
But
to be honest with you, you mentioned something earlier. You mentioned something about whether or not certain progression was good, right? And I'm not even going to argue that because that's like up and down. I think it is, but it depends on what it is. But what happens is when somebody that's representing the black community in politics today is telling me we're not going backwards, I'm really more unsure whether I'm both of you now for real, because backwards, you mentioned 1964. I'm actually okay with the 1960s and 50 policies as it relates to politics. The treatment of black people, no. But that ain't never changed anyway. But no. But it is a certain level of backwards I'm willing to accept.
Yeah.
When it comes to politics.
When it comes to our unity. I would say that.
That too, yeah.
Now, we don't have unity nowadays. So this is one of those things that I'm going to say that's going to be semi-controversial. I'm not voting for Trump. I'm not doing that. Probably not going to vote for Kamala either. I mean, I'm probably not. Now, if that being said, hold on. That being said, if Trump gets in office, this is an opportunity, and I would say this, and it's kind of crazy, it would be an opportunity for us to unify against a common enemy as a people.
So that would be an example of going backwards and move forward.
This is our last chance, really. After this, it's going to be buffer classes. Our demands are going to be completely. We're not getting nothing that we want anyway. We've asked the Biden committee for things, and they never really talked to us. I mean, they said that once they weren't going to do something specifically for blacks. They said that they were going to do this all with a rising tide lifts all boats type shit. I get it, but then you have AARP, and then you have the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. Those are specifically for Jews, specifically for Asians and Pacific Islanders, and then LGBTQ got a whole bunch of stuff passed for them. My thing is that's for specific people. What is specifically for black people, descendants of slaves that built this country, that have been knocked down off of our feet, so much so that it impacts us psychologically and economically? We need some help. Now, everybody be like, yeah, I can do it on my own. We just got to fight 10 times harder. Well, shit, that's not fair. Why we got to fight 10 times harder? You know what I'm saying? It makes it seem like that's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay.
Hold up. So I just want to say, like, you mentioned this back in 2016 when I first started podcasting. You said those very almost exact words when it comes to the LBGT community getting what they want, and I feel like it's almost 10 years ago and nothing's changed.
Mhm.
I want to throw that out there.
Yeah. It's commendable what they're able to accomplish. My thing is when it comes to black folks, they be like, yeah, you can get something. You can get something. Nah. Y'all can get something though. And it's like, well, why y'all skipping over us? Then when it comes to election season, it's like, hey, we need your votes. Hey, we need y'all votes. Y'all can do it. Here goes Megan. Here goes Beyonce. Here goes Jay-Z. Y'all voting for us. Rock the vote. There goes Diddy. You can't even be talked about no more now. Y'all got to vote? Well, all right, we got you in office. All right, we in office. All right, well, hold on for a second. We'll get to y'all in just a minute.
I ain't gonna
That
lie.
happens every year.
Diddy went crazy back in 2004 when he had the vote or die.
Yeah, vote or die.
Vote or die is crazy.
Looking back at it,
Like,
hindsight
hold
it
on.
is.
Now think about it. Vote or die is actually insane,
Hindsight
bro.
is crazy.
Like vote or die is that was crazy.
Yeah.
And it was for who was the two presidents at the time? It was for between Bush and I want to. No, it wasn't Al Gore. Al Gore was 2000.
No, it was Bush and
I forgot the other guy. It was 04. I was young. I couldn't vote anyway, so it didn't matter. But yeah, he had the mohawk and all that stuff. Remember the
remember.
red, blue, and white vote or
the
die
black,
shirts?
Yeah, I remember the shirts and all that. But
Him
I
doing
mean, the
the
thing
race.
is, we always falling for gimmicks, man. It's gimmicks when it comes to black folks and voting. They'll never really say, hey, look, black folks, this is what we do. You remember when Ice Cube got a lot of flack? Because he went to Biden and said, hey, we want to talk. We have a black agenda, some things we want to discuss. He said, after I get in office, I'll give you a call back and we'll talk. So Ice Cube went over to Trump. And then he got lit up on social media. Oh, what you talking to Trump for? It's like, Ice Cube was basically in my position. I don't care who we got to talk to. Who's going to do something specifically for black people? We're not asking for a whole lot. We only asking for what we owed and a few things to stop us from being in situations like Sonia Massey. We don't need to be in those situations. They have whole gangs in the police force. This is known. It don't take a study. It's known. They got tattoos. They got a whole code of stuff that they get away with. Something like that needs to be brought to an end. We don't need that in police.
That's what I ask you. Like, what should presidents run on? Like, cause we talk about what the world needs, or even just us as a black community, what we need and what we need, not what we want, what we need.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would a president have to run on for us to be like, this is a good? And honestly, what they run on don't matter.
I mean, just gotta be
personally speaking, because it might not happen. But what would somebody need to run on for you to be like, you know what, this is piquing my interest?
You're not gonna make everybody happy ever. Somebody's always gonna be pissed off about whatever you do. But if you keep it, like I said, the golden rule ain't even in the Bible. You doing to others as you have others do unto you. Keeping it something simple like that, it's like, I'm not gonna oppress black people. We see something happening to them, so let's do something to fix that. Even with the AARP, I'm not against that, or Anti-Semitism Act. I'm not against that, but you see something wrong, you do it for the people. Let's try to fix it. But we get wronged all the time. They be like, we'll see what we can do for them niggas. I don't know. We ain't doing nothing right now. Why it's not popular amongst all society? And then you got immigration. They getting a ton of money. Ukraine, they getting a ton of money. The Jews, they getting a ton of money. We get Megan Thee Stallion, bro.
Chill out, man.
Come on, man. I'm like, what are we doing? Wait, no conflict. She was supposed to be at that rally saying, hey, Atlanta, I understand. We're going to make some things happen. I mean, now, what people are going to say is, well, you ain't talking about that about Trump. Well, I don't have to. Trump is kind of self-explanatory. You're a racist. We know it.
Also, I want to say, too, I know because people want to say that, oh, yeah, they talk about Trump. But like, if you already know, like, that's not a lane you're going to vote for, it's out the picture, it's nothing to talk about. Like, nothing he's doing or saying is piquing my interest to even want to have a conversation about it. Like, if that's not what I'm going off of. Now, the thing is, you said lesser two evils, all that stuff, but the fact of the matter is, the person the Democrats pick to be in the forefront to run for president is probably always going to pique my interest, because a lot of the things that I would like for my community or me or just my life usually fall under the Democratic standpoint. Not everything, but a lot of the things. So they all pique my interest. So you criticize it because you're like, damn, if I were going to pick somebody for that level of leadership, of course, it would probably be for Democrat. Right. And then for it to be this person, now I'm like at a standstill because the opposing person is just like somebody is a clown that I'm not going to pick.
Right.
Now you pick somebody else that I don't see myself voting for. I don't see myself feeling like
I'm not gonna be comfortable with she's in office. And if it was, I'm not gonna be comfortable with Democrats. I'm not even gonna just say her. Right now, Democratic representation for me, it sucks. If you ask me, when they say, okay, I tell people all the time, and they say, well, it's changed. Well, Democrats were the official Confederacy. That was the original Confederacy. And now they say, well, the gears switched, so it's not like that anymore. What they did was just say, if we can't beat them, join them. So they created welfare systems so that they say, hey, we'll give you X amount of dollars, X amount of housing. You just got to make sure to stay clear of having economic impact in your community. Now, you got immigrants that come over here, Asians specifically, and they set up gas stations in our communities, and they eat off of the economy that we're supposed to be eating off of. They come over here and get loans, and they get tax-free for X amount of years, and they get all kinds of stuff. I think we should be the first ones in line. But what it seems to me, and again, this may be an unpopular opinion, but it's the truth, is somewhere between immigrants, all immigrants, not just the Hispanics, all immigrants, Asians, and everybody else who's coming in, is creating a buffer class between us and the white supremacist structure, so that when people see those that come into this country, even the Africans that come into this country, a lot of times they don't rock with us. Sometimes they do, but a lot of times they don't, because they've been taught not to, don't deal with them. But once you get that buffer class in place, then they ain't got to listen to us. They start listening to everybody else. AARP came in, they didn't have no study for that. They were just like, hey man, y'all can't be talking about this during COVID. Y'all can't be, now it's a crime for you to say anything about Asians or Pacific Islanders because it was the hate thing. Well, we've been getting hated on for a long time, but you put those people ahead of us, which, like I said, they get their legislation, it's fine. I don't have nothing against them, but we here. Yeah. You act like you don't see us. And this is on the Democrat and the Republican side. It's like, push those people to the back. We only need their votes to help get in office, and then we can do what we want. They like, well, who we voting for? If we're not voting for Kamala, who we voting for? I'm like, well, this is where your right to vote really comes into play.
Exactly.
You have a right to vote, but I'm voting for somebody who's going to quid pro quo. We need something for our vote. If you're not getting me nothing, then why should I put you in office? You know what? I deal with the consequences. What the consequences? Well, consequences might make us stick together. Maybe that's what we need.
Also, I want to add too, because people say that, oh, who are you going to vote for? Like, as if you don't vote for Kamala, right? That you just have to vote for Trump.
Two-party system sucks.
But no. But that's not the case though. First of all, this is why I sometimes I wonder if people are educated. This is if you're not voting for them, either one of them. When you go to that voting polls in November, that is not going to be. I will hope that's not the most important person you vote for, because locally it's going to matter as well.
Locally,
those laws in your city, in your jurisdictions, your county, your state,
absolutely,
those are going to matter.
Absolutely,
and that's why I think even with the voting piece, is like it's so hard to talk to people, because you were about Kamala versus Trump, and the other 9, 10, 12 things you got to vote for, those matter just as much to make them even be successful at their job.
And I mean,
but you have to know that though. Like, you have to know, if you vote yes on this, it can make her be more successful if she becomes president. If you vote no on this, it can make him be more successful if he becomes president. As far as like what pertains to what you like or don't like, or what you for. So that stuff matters. So people always talk about, oh, if you're not, I don't care if I go vote for 12 things and the 13th thing is just the president, right? And I voted perfectly clear on my conscience. I did my research for the other 12 things. And then the last one, I do a write-in for my mama. I don't care.
Right.
I will feel good. I don't have to vote for her or him if I do not want to. And I won't. And I can still make a heavy impact by my vote, by the other things I'm voting for.
That's what people need to know. This presidential election, I mean, it matters.
But it get masked because it's other stuff that's important on that ballot.
Right.
Like, it's more important stuff on that ballot than those two, or more. And it's more than them too.
Yeah.
It's more than Democrat and Republican. You got the Libertarian.
You got the Green Party.
You got so much other stuff. And I don't know. We don't talk about it. Like, it's like people think it's only them two.
We got social, a social media machine that runs that just promotes what they want promoted. Democrat versus Republican.
Right.
And that's it. You don't really the other.
But it's the thing, like,
right.
Like, I can go type it in right now, like.
Who else?
I just Googled what Kamala Harris done. Now, not a lot came up, but still, like, let me chill.
It's not a whole lot.
It did.
She
only as vice president. Yeah, I didn't do everything. Now, she done a lot in her career. Only as vice president.
She has accomplishments. She has a compliment. I mean, but everybody who's running for the office of the presidency has made a.
I don't like the idea though that people are actually saying things like she's not worthy. I'm never gonna say she's not worthy of the position she's in. I'm not gonna say she's not worthy to like she must be worthy. We talk about her. You know what I'm saying? She's worthy if she's done some things, and regardless of what she represents, black, whether she's a woman of color, not Hindu, Irish, I don't care, like whatever she is, she's brilliant and she's very smart. I know that from talking to her. I mean, from seeing her talk, she can speak. She can talk to certain things.
She can talk a little bit. I can't totally agree with that. If you notice, she
is
had
she on
done it in
Obama
the
level?
interviews.
No, she's not on Obama level.
No.
But
she may be able to talk in court, in a court of law, but in front of like people as a politician, she's not nearly as articulate as Obama.
You talking in court of law, like that means that you can have that compassion piece. You can have that persuasive piece, which well, I didn't get to that, but that's another reason why people that's in DAs also can do well as far as with the politics, because as you being a lawyer, DA, you have to be persuasive.
Yeah, but
so you get that at a young age.
Definitely, she's not persuading me that she's in touch with black culture. She's just not doing it.
Well,
she's just not doing it. Not that she has to be the president, but don't fake it. She's like faking it till you make it. She's not gonna do it. It doesn't look good.
It probably not working for you.
It makes me not trust her.
But we both know it's working. I'm only saying that because you not in debates, but you having healthy back and forths with people, right?
Yeah. There's people who want to shut me down.
And I'm pretty sure you feel like, well, listen, what are you not seeing? I'm pretty sure you feel that way. Like,
what I do want to say though, with the back and forths is, they're like, well, what are your suggestions? You need to run, or what do you need to do since you're so smart? Blah blah blah. I'm like, look, this book here, that's why I bought it. It's Powernomics by Dr. Claude Anderson. He wrote it years ago, but he has a piece in here that speaks specifically to practicing group politics. And what he says, I mean, I ain't gonna read all the highlighted areas to you.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot of them.
But in a nutshell, what it says is we need to vote as a block. So we hire these politicians. So let's just say we want to end qualified immunity. We need to put whatever politician that we choose to vote for, put that on the chopping block and say, hey, as the black collective, we're saying that we will give you this vote. Can you pass this legislation? This is what lobbyists do all the time.
Right,
Maybe we need to create a lobby of black folk and the stuff that we want done for us. They say, yeah, I can make that happen. And we say, yeah, okay. Now you got, I don't know, 8, 9 million votes right here, just because you said you was going to do that. Now, that's one. Every 4 years, we need to be asking for something for us specifically, because everybody else does it. It just don't look like they're asking for them because it's for them anyway.
Yeah.
White people ain't got to ask for nothing because the laws was created for them. So you got immigrants come in, they're asking for stuff. They want immunity, they want this, that, and the other. Us, descendants of slaves, we asking for reparations. They like, nah, you're never going to get reparations. Well, I'm like, well, should we just bow down and just vote Democrat just because we're supposed to? I mean, we're not getting nothing for our vote. So basically, we just need to vote because we need to vote against the enemy. Or we just need to vote against the other opponent. We just need to stay with, when everybody say go this way, we just need to go that way. Don't ask no questions, just go. Why? Because if you don't, then you're voting for the other guy.
Yeah.
And that don't make sense to me. It's ignorant to me. It just don't make sense. I'm just gonna vote for this person. Why? Because she looks like us. Come on, man. We got to be better than that. Or because she had entertainers and she's using our slang. Come on, man. I know we better than that.
I guess too.
Martin Luther King would have never went for that. Malcolm X would have never went for that.
It depends on like how you look at it too, because believe it or not, you got some people that think like that, and they are A-okay with that being the way they think, and that's how they're gonna go off of. But then you got the people who look deeper past the surface of, okay, you look like me. Mm-hmm. So now, like with Obama, what you with Obama, like you've been very critical of Obama. You know what I'm saying? Not saying he was a bad. I mean, considering now what we got, like
voted for him twice.
Considering what we got now, he probably go down as the best president of all time.
I mean, I didn't like him, and he's still the best president.
Because, but
he's still. Well, I ain't gonna say I didn't like him. No, but he's still the best president.
But because he represented us, that made you be more critical of him because this is somebody I'm supposed to relate to. He's representing me.
You know what? I actually related to Obama until after his presidency, and that's when I started to be like, "Wait a minute, man! You did what for police? Or you didn't do nothing about this? He was around the Trayvon Martin era. It's a lot that should have been done right there.
That also was the beginning. That was his ending, kind of, but that was the beginning of a whole different era.
Yeah, so. But it's like he was supposed to do something about that. He passed more gay laws than anything, which I'm like, ain't nothing wrong with that. But I mean, hey man, you know you're not right. We here. You know we voted for you. We got you in there. You
But
can't
see,
do
even
that.
that, like, even with the Trayvon, like, and I'm not gonna get too deep into it. I don't know what all the president can do. It's like I said, it's a 3-branch government. You got legislative, judicial, and you got legislative, judicial, and executive. And like, you gotta let those states handle those laws. Sometimes, like, it's not he can't intervene and say, look, he might feel like the person should have been in jail, but
so at
what
some
can he
point
do?
you can get to the Supreme Court and be like, hey man, something need to change right here.
Let me make some calls, I guess. I mean, I would imagine you could do that, but I mean, like I said, at the end of the day, like,
But it happened over after that. It started happening,
and it was in Florida.
over and
What can you do? That's not even.
Well, yeah, but then after that, it kept happening. It's like, hey, these police is getting away with this.
You think he got any pull in Florida? It ain't Georgia. If it was Georgia, Florida ain't voting for Obama. That's a Republican state from the you know what I'm saying? So, and I only say that because I hate to put stuff on certain people where like that really ain't their job, technically speaking. So I can't fault him in the presidency for that mishap.
Right.
You know, I just wish he
fault him for what he could have did more about it to make sure that didn't continue to happen. Because after that, it was a rash. It was a rash of police killing black folks to the point of it only really got tipped over after George Floyd is when it was like, hey man, enough is enough. They didn't want to see the LA riots happen again all over the world. So then it was like, hey, 2020, and it was an election year.
Not did it just to not do it, not because they don't want to see riots. Like, but I say this to say like I do commend like people that's in politics and the president and stuff like that and leadership or whatever, because a lot of times leadership, a lot of stuff gets thrown on you that you really have nothing to do with per se, but people do expect you to speak up about it or try to, put your best foot forward as far as getting things done. That's for anything, whether you work at a Dollar General, whatever, like it might not be your problem, but you're a leader, so it's kind of your problem because you lead, and then the United States is yours. Yeah. So but I definitely understand that.
Well, to kind of change the subject just a bit. Now, I do want to know what is I see the Divine Nine, the Greek fraternity sororities behind Kamala Harris. But I want to know, what is it that's driving them to be behind her? Is it because she's an AKA? Is that it? I mean, but if that's it, it kind of speaks to the ignorance of the intelligence that some of these people have. Because you went to college, but I mean, she's not presenting anything that's gonna benefit the people. I'm waiting to see. I'm waiting for her to speak on the interview. I'm waiting to see what she's gonna say. She hadn't mentioned any of her policies or nothing. They're keeping. If you ain't paying any attention, they're keeping her away from our interviews. She hadn't done none.
Well,
none, zero.
Well, yeah, it is.
She hasn't done none. She just hired Obama's old campaign leader to run her campaign. They're gonna have to prep her for at least another month before they put her on any interviews, because she can open her mouth and put her foot in it. Because Trump had this thing sold up, and he came right out the hospital, put his foot right in his mouth.
It's gonna be hard to go against Trump, because the reality of it is this, right? It's Trump, and he gonna do what he want to do and say he want to say with no inhibitions at all.
And that messes
him
up.
But the minute if she says something wrong, it's over for her, technically speaking. So she really at a disadvantage as far as the speaking piece goes, interview piece goes, because just like we're doing now, not we're doing it like right now, but you got certain people who you are gonna pick apart everything she says or does.
But do you know what I think? This is a kind of a far-fetched idea, but I was listening to a few podcasts and they were saying this, and I'm like, yeah, that's kind of a credible idea. She's raised X amount of dollars, which is a whole lot of money. She hadn't been saying nothing. There's a couple of other guys that they want to be president. She was just first in line. I wouldn't be if the media decides to switch gears on Kamala Harris and start talking about some of her downfalls. They'll put her out and put somebody else in, and they get that campaign money and all that. So you're talking about like a Gavin Newsom. That's what I really think they want. That's what I really think they want. Gavin Newsom, governor of California. They probably want him. But they got Kamala. Now, it's not too late. Crazy as this election cycle is.
It's America. I don't foresee. Not saying I wouldn't do it. I'm just being transparent. I don't foresee America ever having a black woman as their first choice for something like that. It's America. So how would that be?
This is America.
You already not only are you a woman, but you identifying as black. Oh, So I got 2 reasons to stay away from you.
Well,
so
are you identifying as black?
Well, they identify her as black. We might not, but and that's the thing. A lot
They're
of
trying
times
to
too.
because they're appealing to us now.
But a lot of times, how many times you met somebody in real life, right?
Mm.
And you be like, yeah, they black, but they ain't like us.
A lot of them.
You know what I'm saying? So I think we look at her as such. Not we not saying she's black, but I'm just saying she represents that. But we feel like she's not part of the culture. But I feel that because of interviews. Interviews to me, I like when politics do interviews because I get up. Like your speech is your speech.
Right.
Cool. It's supposed to be moving, groundbreaking. It's supposed to do all that stuff. So that ain't. I'm not gonna vote on you based on your speech, unless you're Obama because he spoke very well. But
yeah,
I like interviews because I want to see how you act. I want to see your demeanor when you get thrown that curveball question.
She's kind of awkward, man. We've seen it in the past.
I already seen it.
Yeah, she's a little awkward.
But I don't want that to be the reason why I don't vote for her. I still want to see her campaign. I'm going to give her just due. It's America. I'm going to give her just due. And if she's able to win me over, that's fine. But all I'm saying is I do feel like I'm at a standstill with the choices I'm seeing right now for that particular voting selection.
And all I want to do is it's not like, hate Kamala. I don't like Trump. Trust me, I don't like Trump. I like Kamala more than I like Trump, and I don't like neither one of them. But I would, if I'm gonna go to dinner with somebody, I'm probably gonna go with. I probably wouldn't go with neither one of them. But what I'm saying is, I just want us to think critically. The reason I ask the questions the way I ask them and the way I post stuff is because I want them to challenge themselves to more than, ooh, look what she has, ooh, look what she's wearing, ooh, look what she did. Black folks, we gotta be done with that whole line of thinking of just because somebody does something that's new or cool or that can semi-identify with our culture, that's our candidate now. And these people are put up here like puppets. They made to do that.
I want to interject real quick because right here we sitting at right now. Right. I had the DA on in here.
Mm-hmm.
DA from Augusta, Georgia. First black DA in Augusta, Georgia.
Right.
Shout out to him.
Salute.
Clap it up real quick. First black DA in Augusta, Georgia, right? But I'm going somewhere with that. First black DA in Augusta, Georgia. Black man too.
Right.
Sat right here in this very section and said, I asked him, how was it being the first?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, being the first black anything is a job in itself. It's hard because not only do you have to do your job, now you have to deal with the pressures of doing for your people. You know what I'm saying? But still, as a whole,
keeping it fair.
Yeah, and my only thing with that is like, not to say that she can't do the job. I'm wondering if America is ready for that yet.
They've never been ready for it, and that's the thing. We have to show them that we're serious. We got to show them that, hey, look, man, y'all not finna be doing it for everybody else and not us.
About none of this election time I've seen, besides locally here in Augusta, Georgia, of course. But on a scheme of the domestic, I haven't seen that. Everything looks like a joke. We got a whole RICO case trial happening in Atlanta, Georgia.
Bruh.
It's a joke. It's a RICO. I mean, somebody's life is really on the line for real, and it's a joke. It's all so everything I'm seeing that's supposed to be serious that would have been serious in 95, 2005, maybe 2015, the last maybe year. Everything seems to be unserious. Everything seems to be circus driven. It's like a clown show.
Well, when you got social media, man, the internet is unbeaten when it comes to memes. Well, they're gonna have a meme for you.
Yeah,
it don't matter. And then at some point, it becomes clownish and a joke. Even some of the things that are supposed to be serious, things that are supposed to be dear to us, get passed off as not serious. And we don't really opinions can just sway the masses with a meme or a joke. And they don't really look at the seriousness of it. This election right here, it's pretty serious. It's serious for reasons that are bigger than Donald Trump. It's bigger than Kamala Harris. It's bigger than Democrats and Republicans, especially as it pertains to black folks. Because if we don't get in, like I said, there's a plan in place for us. And we are slowly getting pushed down to the back of the bus. Again, the proverbial back of the bus. And we don't even know it. Niggas like sitting there now.
Go back to what you said earlier. Somebody said, well, we never gotten what we want. So what's the problem? Well, that's the problem right there. Because we're gonna keep voting that way and keep moving the same way we've been moving. And the same thing gonna keep happening.
Get close. Since 1964. Get close. Well, next year we gonna vote for next 4 years. Well, we get him in office. Well, we did close. We almost got what we want. We did close.
We've been this close since I mean, decades ago.
Since we shall overcome.
I don't want to hear that song no more. I'm good on that song.
They need to take that out of
again.
the whole.
You know, we haven't overcame too much, and it's to the point where now I don't even know if that's a Negro spiritual. It might just be like a Negro setback or something.
I don't know. Man. We shall overcome someday. I'm like, if we ain't did it in X amount of years. You know, I was thinking about it the other day, and people talking about how much things change. I'm looking at how much they don't. The Civil Rights Act was passed for voting and stuff was 1964. I'm like, that was 60 years ago. I'm 47 years old. It's only 13 years removed from that. Yeah. And my grandma is 83. So I'm like, it wasn't that long ago. So they make it seem like, yeah, those are the old days, and that's not like that no more. Man, it's still fresh. This is still fresh. Black people getting what they want. Reason we not getting what we want is because it's still fresh. When we was fighting real hard, they dismantled all of that. They killed Malcolm. They killed Martin. They destroyed the Black Panther Party. They introduced crack cocaine. And now the education system sucks. And they took cursive out of school. What the hell? So now we ain't gonna know nothing.
Hold on. He took cursive out of school.
Yeah, it's like, man, we're not gonna know nothing. We're just gonna be watching the dumb box and just waiting to see what the next meme is, or waiting to see what these entertainers doing now. And it's like, oh, look, they got Lil Uzi Vert at the doggone presidential rally.
But even this is something I think about when you speak, because we get so much short versions of things that it's long versions of. So back in the days, you know, if somebody spoke for 90 minutes, you had to watch all 90 minutes of it. You didn't get a 60-second clip of the worst part to say, what is he talking about? Like, it was like you had to get it in totality to understand what they were talking about and kind of get the picture they were painting. But as it is about Kamala, I'll make sure we're showing this. I don't have a problem with her personally. I think I've grown, so I'm open to the idea of whatever she's going to run her campaign on. I'm just, the clock is ticking. It was August now, so we got to come up with something.
I'm definitely listening.
But what I will say is, you know, I don't want anybody that's watching and that's voting, whatever. I don't want people to push just because she's a black woman.
What I'm saying. It's the just
even
because
if you
factor.
identify as a, which maybe she's not, whatever. But just don't push just because she's a black woman. Push because she's a qualified black woman and she can do the job.
Yeah, at least if all the policies aren't for us, then we need to make sure something that we can take advantage of. Like I said, they say, you know, student loan forgiveness and so many dollars for minority farmers and all that. I get it. Minorities includes white women, just in case you didn't know. That's a minority. So everybody can take advantage of all these policies that they've taken advantage of. When they say AARP, I'm not Asian or Pacific Islander. How can that benefit me? When they say Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, I'm not Jewish. How can that benefit me? That's specifically for those people. And then when we say something, they like, well, they got HBCUs. Nigga, that's no. Because even then, Indians and white folks can go to HBCUs. That's for whoever wants to go. There's nothing specifically for us. What we really want is reparations. 40 acres and a mule, not 20 like Kamala said. 40 acres and a mule is what we was promised. I mean, but that's old. It don't have to be 40 acres and a mule. Give us the equivalent in a check. And then watch how the economy thrives. Because if you can give Ukraine $175 billion, I'm pretty sure y'all can give us something.
When she mentioned something, because I went up what she was running on, and I know she said something about any family that making less than $100K a year getting $500 a month or whatever, as some low tax write off, whatever. I don't know. And granted, $500 a month. I want that. That's what's up. Yeah. But I want people to realize that that's how they kind of get
universal
you in.
Income or something like that.
That's how they get you in there, because nobody said that was set in stone.
No, but this
Biden been clearing his student loan debt since mine's is still on there. I get called every day, and it's gonna be on there
right
until they decide to clear that motherfucker off.
But
my point is, people run on things, and it's a 3-branch government. So just because they run on something, they got a good idea, that don't mean it's gonna come to fruition, because it has to get passed by this person, passed by that person. If you didn't vote for Kamala, you did vote for Kamala, somebody else didn't. Right. They're gonna not vote for that. Like every branch of government make the other branch hard.
Well, let me see you fight for it. Just let me see you put it up on the board, and let's see some people get behind.
That's the thing, though. They talk about it on their campaign, then you don't hear nothing when they're in office.
No, they don't.
One thing I can say, since I've been like grown and just aware of stuff, I've been through the Obama era, I've been through the other Obama era, the Trump era, and then the Kamala and Biden era. And the Kamala and Biden presidency was just the quietest I've ever seen a president and a vice president, and I
Right.
just couldn't make sense of it because it was times I would have to search
For
for
what's
stuff
happening.
that was going on, and I didn't
Right.
know. And that's a problem for me because I feel like I should be tired of my president. I used to get tired of Trump.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Trump. I really was.
It's almost like
tired
your
of
girl, like your girl, she gonna talk so much you tired of, but
Right.
the communication gotta be there. You're gonna get annoyed, but they're
Yeah.
communicating. I need that from my
Well,
president
well, right now,
and my vice president.
we also need to make sure that the world is gets back intact because right now it's about to go down in a minute now. I can see that during the election
And
too.
we this close, man. We this
It's
close.
really this close.
We this close.
Because you know, you look over there in Iran right now. It's finna go to war with Israel, and they got Hezbollah and all of them going crazy. You still got Ukraine that they ain't saying nothing about, and then you got China and North Korea and all them doing war tests and yeah, it's and then right now, believe it or not, the United States is a real vulnerable place because Joe Biden was finna pull a Mitch McConnell on us, and then they put Kamala in there, and then you got Trump. He's crazy. So we got like two crazy people running right now. It's really not a good look for us. We don't look powerful as a country.
So that's why I was telling people, man, if you're not gonna look negative the country, I would definitely make sure that the stuff that affects you the most looks good. So I'm gonna keep saying it: vote locally, learn the
locally.
laws locally
Facts.
in your state, in your jurisdiction, your county. That stuff is way more important
And practice powernomics.
in the long run.
Read the book and
than
practice powernomics.
you voting for Trump or Kamala in 2024. Because the stuff you vote for locally can make your life better in 2035.
Right.
You know, so that's just my opinion.
No, I mean that's right. I mean locally, we always got to vote locally. Because locally, we can actually see things
Local
happen
matters.
and make things happen. But once it gets to that national level, I think what it is with me, I'm just sick and tired of the shenanigans, man. That Meg Thee Stallion thing really kind of that tugged the wild hair in my ass. Well, I ain't like that.
It's just a wild way to start your campaign off.
I ain't like that.
It's like,
It was
hey,
just, yeah, to start it off with twerking. It's like, do you know what the rest of the world thinks of black people now? It's like, oh, them niggas want to do is dance. They ain't serious about nothing.
them dancing ass niggas.
Yeah, so that's why we can't get nobody from other countries to come to our aid and be serious. Like, hey, I gotta stop mistreating the black people in America. Y'all really need to stop doing that. We go to everybody else's aid, nobody comes to ours. All I'm saying is, don't vote for the candidate if they're not bringing nothing to the table for you, and especially for you specifically as black folks, because everybody around us is getting stuff. We the only ones that getting to vote. That's the only thing we get. We get to vote. We ain't getting nothing for that vote. We hire these people. We ask them to help us out with certain legislation and funding and stuff. There are things that they could do for us to try to help pay back what they owe us, and they ain't making no efforts. They haven't made any efforts since 1964 to do anything specifically for black people, but they do it specifically for everybody else. Native Americans, Asians and Pacific Islanders, Jews, LGBTQ,
What would you say the
everybody
last,
else.
What would you say the last thing
Mhm.
in politics that black people might have got that was like beneficial?
The right to vote.
What about affirmative action? No, yes.
It's a wormhole.
I can see
Well,
pros and cons to that though.
It's pros and cons. The thing with affirmative action and the
That's still a long time.
Yeah. I mean, that's a long time ago. But affirmative action, and that's that DEI thing that they're trying to say, diversity and equality and inclusion and whatever. It doesn't really. I mean, they say it works, but it was what's the word I'm looking for? It was a gesture, man. It's like, so we gotta hire a couple of niggas, and that's it.
A quarter.
So we put you in place. Now, in order for you to elevate, well, that's up on us. We can always find a reason for you to either elevate one or two of y'all, so now we look diverse, or either we come up with a reason why you're not qualified, and we don't have to put you on this level, or we can put you on that level as long as we can control you. And believe me, they control you because as fast as they put you up there, snatch you down just as quick. I think I told you one time before I was watching Shaka Zulu. On Shaka Zulu, when the guys came over there and they was giving them horses, and they was like, yeah, they're giving us horses, so we're going to trade off some of the women and, let them come into the village or whatever. One of the guys was telling Shaka, he was like, hey, man, if you a hawk, if they're hawks and we're jaguars, we run the ground. They're the hawk, they run the sky. They're coming and giving you wings. Do you think they're going to let you fly higher than them? No, they're not. You run the ground, man. Run it right here. We keep control of this. Let them have what they have. Because if they give you something, They're never gonna let you run the sky. They run the sky. They're not. Same thing with these politicians. Same thing with affirmative action. They give you position. They're never gonna let you run this. They're gonna let you run it. But we kind of foolish to believe it. No, so I mean, it helps. But what would help more is if we could thrive on our own economies. Like I say, if Black Wall Street and whatever got destroyed, and the hundreds of Black Wall Streets all around the United States that got destroyed, we would have had our own. There's no Black Walmarts, no Black Targets.
Yeah.
There's none of those. If there was some of those, we wouldn't be having this conversation about affirmative action. Ain't no Black Amazons.
You know, just going back to the presidential or Kamala Harris thing too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not against a woman running the United States of America.
No.
Or Black women for that matter.
Right.
Honestly, I'm very pro Black women running a lot of things.
I
Some of my best
totally
managers
agree.
was Black women.
I
My
can
best
totally
leaders
agree.
were Black women. And even if because they do move up promotion, sometimes that's what you want from your leader. You want to know that they feel what the hell you're going through, right? So I'm never going to sit here and say that Kamala's going to do a horrible job if she get in office. Right now, I'm just not seeing it. I just want to be clear that I'm not seeing it right now.
No.
But I also feel like, you know, I would wonder what other Black women candidates could also run America. You know, I think of Stacey Abrams. She couldn't get Georgia a few times, right? Would she be a good candidate for this position as well?
She'd probably be better than Kamala Harris.
I'm not even not even trying
Michelle
to,
Obama.
I'm not even going to try to
Probably
play
be
like
better than Kamala Harris.
devil's advocate or try to pin them against each other. I'm just saying, like, there's a bunch of Black women that I do feel like I know I would vote for. I would vote for Michelle Obama. Yes, it's because she's Obama. She's a white, but also I've seen stuff she's pushed. Now for Kamala, I will say this, just to give her kudos.
Mhm.
I can see why Black women are fully behind her because she's done some good things for Black women, especially maternal and stuff. Like, so I'm not gonna say and say she never did Black.
Right.
It don't really. I can say it don't affect me, but I got a mom that's Black. You know,
right.
I got daughters that's Black. You know what I'm saying? Black women in my life, sister, aunt. You know what I'm saying? Your girlfriend, your wife, Black women in my life. So I do want things for them, but I think of a Black man as well, and I want some. I'm a Black man. So I want some. I'm voting. I want some things for me as well. So
the other thing I did want to say though is just pay attention to the propaganda behind the whole thing. So even whoever you're voting for, it's fine. They throwing this Project 2025 up.
Hold on,
And
you
they
had a
throwing
post.
Project 20, huh?
You had a post on this.
They throwing Project 2025 up like, oh my God, this is just going to end everything, and it's going. I mean, I've heard people say something so simplistic like, yeah, it's going to return back to slavery and da 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 da. I'm like, man, it's just not going to happen.
I'm sorry, you said I got one for you. Google Platform 2016.
Yes,
Platform 2020. And Project 2025, and let me know the difference.
They're the same thing. The Heritage Foundation does this every election cycle. They come up with this proposal of a whole bunch of conservative Republican ideas that they think will work. And a white supremacist idea, a white supremacist ideology. No, they're not gonna. They never get. They never get some of it passed. But to be honest with you, a lot of it is in play right now. They're just trying to fix it and make it better, make it work better for them. The world is a little more progressive now, so it's a little harder for them to get away with some of the stuff that they was getting away in 16 and 20. But all they did was revamp that and call it Project 2025. They had to have an arch nemesis to go up against. I mean, you got Trump. Now, Trump is even stepping out saying, I got nothing to do with that. Everybody like, well, he's lying. Well, he might be. I don't know if he does or not, but they have one of these every election cycle. It's nothing to be scared of. It's just, it's something that they do all the time. This is just being used as a propaganda technique to scare you into voting Democrat. Just Democrat, that's it. Don't think about why you voting Democrat, just vote Democrat. Don't think about why you voting for Kamala Harris, just vote for Kamala Harris. Don't worry about her policies, just vote for her. Why? Because she got Megan Thee Stallion, don't you see that? It's like that. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
And because we spoke about it a couple of times, I want to say this too. This is a disclaimer. If people can get this far, I also want to say and I know I think you agree. I seen no harm in having Meg Thee Stallion there. I just wish they went about it a different way.
Right.
I don't feel like just because you have a rapper or a singer or a performer or artist there, some of the best things artists can do
It's not
is
a
just
knock
speak.
on Megan. No, yeah, it's not a knock on Megan or any other entertainers. It's the fact that you bring entertainers to pander to black folks.
Well,
Like this is the only shit that we listen to.
But I can
Like
understand.
we ain't intelligent enough to have a conversation.
I can understand that only because as a woman, black woman rapper or black woman artist rather, she is probably the most popular right now. I think Nicki Minaj is still popular and probably still better, but that's neither here nor there. Meg is kind of the older people with her and the younger, so the demographic wise, she reaching multiple demographics. And I just feel like when you see that, now you got black women like, if they would, because you got people that's going to just say, oh, she's a bad bitch, she blocked the black people, I ain't voting for her. But now you got people that's like, that like Meg so much that like, you know what, hold on, man, let me see what she, and I guarantee you, people, like I say, social media,
but man,
you got TikToks, you got shorts, you got all these reels and stuff now that people are sharing, kind of because of that Meg thing.
But
so
I would have bought, if I would have been her campaign leader as a black man running her campaign, I'd have said, yeah, bring the rappers if you want to. Bring Megan. You can bring a couple other female rappers. Have them dress conservatively. Have them sit down and have a conversation with you about what maybe we can even
ain't
list
nothing wrong
the
with that.
questions.
Yeah, I agree.
Which would have been a better look for Megan because it would have showed, look, this is entertainment. This is serious business. So let me go ahead and talk about something serious. We ain't got to do no. Maybe you can have my song playing in the background when I walk out, but after that, I'm sitting down having a conversation with you.
Yeah.
You're an educated black woman. Who are you representing when you get up there and you start twerking? Now, like I said, I like Megan, but I'm looking at Kamala like, what are you doing?
And I also don't mind her
What are you
twerking,
doing?
but I don't want to twerk there.
No, don't twerk there.
Yeah. When she
Don't twerk
posted
there.
she in her bathroom at home, I watch it. It's
Hey,
nice.
man,
But I'm not gonna lie to you. Like she's nice.
She's nice.
But I don't care how beautiful or nice she is. In that setting, I'm always gonna be alert or upset by it because I feel like you represented not her per se, but the black people were represented in a way that
How does she pander to white folk? And how does she pander to Asians? Is she going to do anything remotely similar or something stereotypical? That's why I call it a minstrel show, because this is a stereotypical show.
You
believe that this is what people, like I'm saying, so when you go, I mean.
Where was that at?
In Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
In Atlanta.
Okay.
Blackest city in Georgia.
Okay.
Georgia is one of the biggest swing states.
So you're saying when she goes to these states, you wonder who she's gonna bring?
I mean, you ain't carrying Megan Thee Stallion with you when you go see. Like I said, if you have a mostly immigrant crowd, you're gonna come to them with some sense and some conversation. You ain't gonna bring a mariachi band and give out tacos.
Well, I can tell you this.
Same thing with Jews. You ain't gonna go to a Jewish thing and I mean, I don't even know who you could bring out for the Jews, but I'm like, you ain't gonna do nothing that's gonna be like stereotypical and be like demeaning to the Jewish community, where it's like, oh man, that was cringeworthy. It was like, yo, this is what you think. This is what you think of us. This is what you think we need to see right now.
And it goes back into decisions. All leaders are kind of you kind of determine or you judge leaders based on the decisions. I don't think it's a good decision, and that could be a campaign issue. It could be a her issue. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't get down to the bottom of it. But when I'm voting, at the end of the day, I'm voting for Kamala. I'm not voting for a campaign manager.
Right.
So you got to be cognizant of that.
But that represents her.
What I will say is, you know, she can make up for it, in my opinion, by if she went to Texas and she brought Meg out and maybe Meg said some words and it moved me. I can see it. I want to see I see the mistake. I want to see how you respond to that now. Because that's going to tell me what kind of leader you are as well. Because in president, you're going to make some mistakes. You've been a manager before. You've been a manager. You know, you might have said something on Monday, and you know what? That was not the right choice.
Yeah.
How you respond to that, it determines what kind of leader you are.
Right. Exactly.
And it's not, because nobody's perfect.
Right.
And you just got to go off that. But to ignore it and just, I want to see the response now. So now I'm going to be looking at her campaign even harder just to see how she go about things. Because to me, it's about decision making.
I could have a change of heart by the time November hits. Right now, I mean, I'm not sold on either one, but
I'm open to it though.
I mean, she would have to really do some hard appealing to my demographic in order for me to be like, okay, you deserve my vote. Because the last election cycle, I walked out there scratching my head. I said, man, I don't even know why I voted for Biden, and I couldn't even come up with a good reason why I did, and I did, and I got what I asked for.
I want to say that I voted for Ken Macon. So shout out to Ken Macon. I wrote him in. I told people that they got mad, right. but I did do my research on all the other ballots, whether it was laws being passed or whether it was something just for the city. I did my research on that, and I watched things. I watched locally. I talked to them all the time, and I made conscious, decisions on all of those ballots when it came to the presidential one. I was at a standstill. So I voted for the person that I want to run the country, and that was Kim Macon. So,
Oh, well. Hey, man, sometimes that would make the difference. That makes the difference. Or at least, like I say, vote for somebody who's going to do something for you, for us. So I'm just, like I said again, just to kind of end it, just think critically. Don't just be like, don't be a bandwagoner. This is not like a football team or nothing like that. This is real politics, real world situations. And, I tell you something else. One of the things that kind of I don't hear them talking about. Did you see where black house values were being like lowball?
Yeah.
Something like that needs to be. That's just some racist shit that needs to be fixed. Now you should be able to fix that. You should be able to say, well, look, that's not going to happen anymore. That the house values are going to be house values. If we find out you're doing it based on race, that you're lowballing these home values, then there's going to be a penalty for that. It's going to be committed. It's going to be a crime. That means something like that would help black folks. This is just in legislation. You know what I'm saying? Something like that could be talked about, but they like scared to talk about it.
I want to I know we're gonna be close. I want to close with just saying, like, I don't want people to get so caught up. We get caught up in this a lot, especially black people. We get caught up in making black history, right? And I don't want to get so caught up in making black history of being the first this, first black this, first black this, first black this. I just want to be progressive in the right way as a black community in decision making, to whereas we can have the right leaders in place versus making history. Now, I'm okay with not making history if I don't care if it's a white person, to be honest. I don't care if it's not making history if the black community and the things that at least what I like and what I live for, and my daughters and my family and my people around me feel like we included and we are thought about and or care for. I want to make sure that when it comes to politics, that those things are being taken care of, not another title of first black this. That means nothing to me.
Yeah, the symbolism is it's over with, man.
After first black this, then what?
No, I'm saying we still doing first black. Besides Obama, we still doing first black. That's why I'm like, man, that lets you know just how far we haven't come. We still doing first black, this, that, and the other. But the symbolism behind it, like what is his name, Ketanji Brown, first black. I'm like, what difference do it make? First black female Supreme Court justice. Okay. And it can be written in history books, but what is she gonna do? And I noticed, and I'm just gonna put it out there, when these politicians be up high ranking like that, they all are not married to other. You don't see black strong power couples. Look, you don't see power couples.
Right.
Obama and Michelle were the only ones. Ketanji Brown got a white man. Kamala, she got a white man. Ain't no wrong with interracial marriages, but I'm like, at a certain level, they ain't gonna trust you to be black on black. You gotta have somebody else. Clarence Thomas,
you got
a white woman. Where's the black power couple that's high-ranking politicians? That was it. That was it.
You got Obamas and you got Hov and Beyonce.
Back to the entertainment again. That's it. That's what I'm like, man, come on, bro.
Yeah, man.
See, you can't have no white woman married no black man put in a high-ranking position there. Never let her get there. Same vice versa. Now, J.D. Vance got him an Indian woman, but Trump needed a J.D. Vance. He needs somebody who's gonna kiss his ass. That's why he picked J.D. Vance. Worst selection ever, but he's gonna kiss Trump's ass the whole time.
Yeah,
and his wife is Indian. That was a crazy selection to me. I just say J.D. Vance. I was like, huh?
Well, you always had the thing. You always said do some fucking research. Do your
so
research,
far.
and if your research leads you to vote for Trump and your research leads you to vote for Kamala, I'm not crazy about who you vote for. I ain't that person that's gonna get mad about that. But you raised a good question. I would want anybody to ask this question. I did about the jury poll the other day, which I don't want to get into right now. Maybe next time we can talk about that. But like, the only question I would have is just the why do you support, and why do you support blank? That's whether it's a person. It could be your dad, your mom. It could be the Jericho. It could be the Augusta Chronicle. It could be whatever. Why do you support blank?
Right.
And then a lot of times the answer or the response to that tells you all I need to know. Whether I'm gonna go back and forth with you or not, whether I'm gonna feel away or not. But it's not always to be problematic or to be combative. Sometimes if I know why you support that person, I'm like, damn, you done taught me something.
Worst answer ever is though because it's not Trump.
Yeah,
it's
not good enough. But Yeah.
I heard that, but it's a lot of
I
people
seen that, I
that's
seen that.
that's a legitimate response from people.
Once, because people kept saying
It's the lesser of two
people
evils.
put they was with her, and everybody, and I said I'm not on a few posts. People said, "Oh, so you voting for Trump?" Like I said, that ballot, it's a bunch of ballots on it. It's like it's a
Right.
bunch of different things you can vote for. I can assure you that the Trump Kamala one is not going to be the most important one on that ballot for wherever you live. I guarantee you.
Yeah, for wherever you live.
That's all I got for you.
Yeah, man. Well, shoot, man. Like I said, I just want to kind of get that out for those who want to chime in. If y'all want us to do it again, believe me, we can go play by play with this for the next few months because I'll be watching the politics like I say, like it's a real live football game or something.
This was a good back and forth, man.
Yeah,
this
man,
is
no
a
doubt,
good,
no
good
doubt.
half hour.
Yeah, always a half hour, solid.
Oh my God. Well, I'm gonna play some James Fox. Take us out of here, man. Yeah, man. Let us know. Comment below what you think. You know what I'm saying? Hit us up. Message us. All that good stuff, man. We out.